It is my pleasure to present the founder and president of the National Action Network, a man who needs no introduction. It's my pleasure to present my leader, the Reverend Al Sharpton.
To Dr. Byrd and all of the clergy, but especially to Ron and the family of Hazel Dukes. I first met Hazel Dukes, I was 13 years old and had been appointed the youth director of the Brooklyn chapter of Operation Breadbasket under Dr. William Jones and Reverend Jesse Jackson. And in fact, Dr. Jones' daughter, Jenny Jones-Austin, is the vice chairman of our board with our chairman, Reverend W. Franklin Richardson. And she literally watched me grow up. I thought about it while El Joy was talking. And I can't think of an issue that we fought since then that she was not at the forefront. We've come in an era of microwave activists. That they get heated up and cool off. Every issue, we get a new group of microwave activists who tell all of us to get out the way, and they mad, they ain't gonna take no more till we have to take some more. But some of us, like Hazel, were long-distance runners. And some of us were committed. But I never met anyone more committed than Hazel Dukes. I talked to her the Thursday before she made her transition. And I said to her, I know everybody's bothering you. I want to come by. Maybe I'll come by after the Saturday rally. It was nothing for her to come to the Saturday Action Rally. She said, I listened on the radio, and that was Thursday. Saturday morning, before I went on the air, Reverend Byrd called me and told me she had passed. And I thought about how there was never a time in my life that she was not there, and she would support us no matter what. She would tell me, I don't know if I always agree with you, but I'm going to support you anyhow. I'll never forget in 2000, she and Charlie Rangel called and said that, you know, the First Lady is running for Senate at our behest. I said, really? He said, yeah. And you have Martin Luther King Day, and we're going to bring her. I said, okay. And she said, you're going to be on your best behavior. I said, well, I'll do that, but at least let me ask you some questions in the office. She said, you can ask all the questions you want after you introduce her and she speaks. The next year, 2001, I heard about they were having problems with a military base in Vieques, Puerto Rico, and some of the Latino brothers and sisters that had marched with us with Diallo were going to jail. So I decided I was going to go to jail with them. And I went and I called Roberto Ramirez and others, and we went down and sat in, got arrested on a Navy base. They brought us to court, Derek Johnson, and the judge looked at all of us and called their names, Roberto Ramirez, 30 days. Jose Rivera, 30 days. Adriano Carrion, 30 days. Said, Sharpton, you've been arrested about 30 times. Said, 90 days. So we got in the Fed van. I said, something about this black Puerto Rican, the unity ain't working out. So about 3 days later, they came and got us and transferred us to Brooklyn, to the federal jail. Second or third day, here come Hazel. You know why you're here? I said, yeah. We sat in the Navy base. She said, no, you'd have done your time in Puerto Rico. But that woman that I told you to support, Senator Clinton, got you moved to Brooklyn. That was Hazel Dukes. She would come to our rally. She was a lifetime member of NAN. Reason I was going out, Reverend Jesse Jackson, who Hazel and Jesse never thought I got grown, was calling me to tell me he was sending a letter. I said, well, I can't read the letter. He said, well, make it up. He said, but I would be there if I could be. Hazel always made us respect the continuity of leadership. And no matter what we did, she respected the continuity of leadership. When we were doing Howard Beach in the 80s, she got Ben Hooks to come march in Howard Beach. All the way from Howard Beach through Bensonhurst in the 90s, all the way till now. George Floyd, she was always there. And she didn't mind doing whatever the agenda was if it was right. There's no reason that everybody is here other than she touched all of us. I remember when there was a police shooting in Queens of Sean Bell. And Dr. Richardson, we decided when they acquitted those policemen, we were going to close the city down. And Hazel said, I'm going to take the Holland Tunnel. And I took City Hall, and Richardson took the Tri-Borough Bridge. All of us sat down same time, took us to jail, and got to the bullpen behind the judge, waiting to go in front of the judge for him to release us. And we started singing freedom songs. And all of a sudden, Hazel hunched me. She said, look over there. I said, what? She said, that guy in the bullpen. I said, yeah. Yeah, that's so-and-so. I won't call his name, he may be here. And I said, yeah, he was down at Brooklyn Bridge with us, and he got so stirred up with my speech, he decided to come with us. She said, but ain't that our lawyer? I said, yeah. She said, I said, yeah, that's our lawyer. She said, well, if he in here with us, who gonna get us out of here? But Hazel would go to jail and to the White House. And she was the same Hazel Dukes. She would stand up no matter what the issue. She would call me and say, Reb. She didn't use the V, Ron. She used B, Reb. What we gonna do? And I'd say, well, I think we gonna try to do so-and-so. She said, did you call Sunshine or call Rachel? And who's in the, she said, I hear something about the 8. I said, yeah, we got 8 legacy organizations. Mark Murrell, all us work together. She says, is Derek at every meeting? Do y'all invite? Don't be having no private meetings. That's Hazel Dukes. But she had impeccable integrity. Yes, sir. She had ethics and values. And the one thing that we should take with Hazel is not her notoriety, but her integrity. Because nobody could say that Hazel Dukes didn't mean what she said and said what she meant. That's why all of us could trust her, and she could call all of us her children. Yeah, that's right. In the winding days of her life, everybody was getting ready for the city elections. She said, well, you know, Eric's one of my children. Then Andrew jumped in. She said, well, you know, I helped raise Cuomo with Mario. He one of my children. Then our sister in Queens. I said, Hazel, probably, she said, yeah, that's one of my daughters, president of city council, Adrian Adams. I said, well, if everybody is her child, I guess since she gone, y'all gonna have a family feud on primary day. I'm just guessing, I don't know. But let me say, the mistake that a lot of people made was they thought that racism and bigotry ended at the Mason-Dixie line. I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York, and I knew what Howard Beach meant. I knew what Bensonhurst meant growing up. Racism didn't end at the Mason-Dixie line. Even after some of the laws of the 60s, Civil Rights Act 64, Voting Rights Act 65, tamed some of the South, it was these manicured northern bigots that we got to deal with. It's these northern bigots that we take a black girl from Brooklyn and make her the state attorney general, and he try to call her names, Tish James. And if you don't believe that there were northern bigots that we had to fight, all you got to do is turn on the news today. First thing they're going to do is cut DEI. They're going to cut into your Social Security to balance out billionaires. Having billionaires deciding whether you could keep getting Medicaid. Hazel fought in the North. If there were those that were the mother, we would say Fannie Lou Hamer was the mother of the Southern Civil Rights Movement, well, Hazel Dukes was the mother of the Northern Civil Rights Movement. Hazel raised us to fight, and the generation behind us to keep the fight going, and we have to fight. I don't know how long we have to go. But I know we owe it to Hazel to take these bigots out the White House and return some dignity and return some integrity and return some level of respect. She raised us for this day. So she can get her rest now, because from one generation to another generation to other generation, she did her duty. The question is what we gonna do with what she taught us. Don't mourn the teacher if you're not going to lose and use the lesson. So Hazel's gone to get her reward. But she'd be embarrassed if we don't continue to fight. I know that there is a meeting going on the other side. But Hazel is watching to see what we going to do. We can be opposed, but we can't be ugly. We can have different tactics, but we can't have different movements. Let Hazel rest now. She fought a good fight. Let Hazel rest now. She kept the faith. Let Hazel rest now. She earned her crown. Let Hazel rest now. She can put down her cross and pick up her crown. You did a good fight, Hazel. Stand up and get crowned. Stand up and crown Queen Hazel.
The Reverend Al Sharpton.